Shalom Aleichem Meshpachah. All glory and praises to the Creator Yahweh, Yahweh, and His most humble Son, Yahweh, Bet Nun So Feet, Yahweh, Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Welcome back to the channel, family. Today, we got a hot topic. And I know the whole world gonna tune in for this one. The topic today, family, is entitled, Yahshua, whom you was taught to call Jesus, is not the Messiah. So, we're going to dive into it. Stay tuned, and also don't forget to like and subscribe.
Man, your God, your white God tells you. Your white God tells you in the dictionaries and encyclopedias that the letter J came about in the last 500 years. The man that lived 1900 years ago, he indeed lived. Oh yes, there is a man that walked the earth 1900 years ago, all right. Oh yes, I'm going to tell you a lot about him you've never been taught today. The first truth you have to get in your mind is that he was a Hebrew. Not a white man, but a Hebrew. Just as we are Hebrews today. We're not white, neither was he. His name was Yahshua. Why? Yahshua, the son of Joseph. That was his name. Yahshua, the son of Yosef. I'll break all that down to you in a little while. Just as you had after Moses was Yahshua, the son of Nun. Now, there's no J in the Hebrew language until this very second. So how could a man born a Hebrew have the name Jesus? It's impossible. So there's no Jews, there's no Jesus, there's no Jehovah. And though we use the term Judah in the Bible, it's no Judah either, it's Yehuda.
Yahshua, the man whom you was taught to call Jesus. This man lived it over 2,000 years ago. And from the facts that we all know, if you have done your recent research, that the letter J just came in existence. So it's impossible for this man's name to be called Jesus. But we all know now that his real name was Yahshua. And the case is that Yahshua was not the Messiah. He was not the Messiah 2,000 years ago, because if you know time, according to the Hebrew solar calendar, it was only the fourth day, meaning the 4,000 years. But prophecy was revealed for the Messiah to arise on the sixth day, the 6,000 year mark, dealing with the end of Satan's rulership. Right? So we're going to cover Yahshua. We're going to dive in and prove to you that he was not the Messiah 2,000 years ago, as prophesied. Alright. So the first scripture we want to cover, dealing with Yahshua, as it relates to him being the Messiah. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. 24:3. I want you to pay close attention to what is being said. Right? And as he sat upon Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? Now, if you pay close attention, what was just said as it relates to Yahshua, his disciple, asking him that question. Now, for his disciple to ask him that question, when all these things shall come to pass, that means and proves that he was not the Messiah. Because if he was the Messiah, his disciple would have never asked him that question. He would have never asked him that question. So it was very clear that the disciple understood that he was not the Messiah. Right? Moving right along. In Luke chapter 24, verse 19 through 21, his disciples was puzzled about Yahshua and all this stuff going on at the time. And this is what was said. Yahshua was asking them a question. And he said unto them, What things? Said Yahshua. And they said unto him, concerning Yahshua of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before you, Yahweh, and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death, and have crucified him. But we trusted that it had been he, Yahshua, which should have redeemed Israel. And besides all this, today, this is the third day since these things was done. So the disciples was wondering, like, okay, if he was the Messiah, then he's supposed to have delivered Israel. Israel ain't delivered, so hey, what's going on here? This is what they saying amongst themselves and question as he questioned them. So they was very puzzled about that. You know, if he was the Messiah, then why didn't he deliver Israel? Because it wasn't time. It was only the 4th day, meaning the 4,000-year mark. The prophecy of the Messiah was for the 6th day, the 6,000-year mark, at the end of Satan's rulership. So when you're reading the crucifixion about Yahshua during those times, if you notice in the book of Matthew, John, Luke, Mark, all of them give different accounts of what happened. But nevertheless, all of it is cryptic, and it was designed and talking about for the Messiah being crucified. It was all allegory concerning the Messiah's crucifixion. So be very careful.
All your life. And the one you call Jesus, he went into the synagogue at age 12. That symbolized the 12 tribes of Israel that he was questioning the elders about. He was questioning them about the 12 tribes of Israel. His father was a mason, Joseph. He was a carpenter, a builder. He was a mason. That's the way he's written up in the Bible. So then he began to study. You always wonder, well, what happened to him between the ages of 12? He was studying his craft, gaining knowledge and degrees. Then the book gave you another secret symbol. Said when he reached 33, they called him master, meaning he had 33 degrees. They called him good master, master teacher, rabbi, meaning master. Then he began to teach openly the knowledge he had learned to his disciples. Although he said in John 16:12, there'll be much knowledge I want to teach you, but you can't stand it now. So that made him a prophet. But when he began to teach the truth of the knowledge that he had received and began to spread it among his brothers, then they sought to kill him. You never been taught why he was killed. Killed him because he was exposing the secrets before time of the knowledge symbolized in masonry. That's why they killed him. That's why. Well, what was he teaching? What was the knowledge? The secret knowledge was about the name. He said, I have revealed your name among men. Come on, it's in the book of John. He said, I have kept them in your name, in another scripture. He kept revealing the name, which was to be kept secret for 6,000 years, to the end of the white man's rulership. Why did the white people give you a white Jesus to believe in? So that you would not recognize the real one when he comes.
You have to ask yourself the question and to be real logical about the whole situation concerning Yahshua or Jesus. If he was literally raising people from the dead. You think about that. The person been dead for 3 days, 4 days, and this man come physically raise them up. Now, if this man can physically raise people from the dead that has been dead for 3 or 4 weeks, if that man can raise that person from the physical dead, then sure, I would have no problem following him. Because common sense will let you know if he's doing that, this man has some kind of power. Right? So, when you look at the whole scenario of the story, why wasn't the people following? Why did they hate me? If you in the midst of all these people, raising physical dead people, you better believe I'm going to follow him. Because this man got some type of power if he's raising people from the physical dead. Think about it. It's illogical. Now, Yahshua was learning from his father, Joseph, which was a carpenter, which was a mason. And John the Baptist also taught Yahshua, or Jesus, if you want to call him that. So, you got to think about these things with an open mind. Because he was not the Messiah 2,000 years ago. It wasn't prophesied for him. You know, it was prophesied for this day and time and this generation during the 6,000 year mark, which we are in now. The Hebrew solar calendar, we are in the year 6025. So, praise Yahweh.